with you. Hall of Famers Doris Burke and Grant Hill joining us tonight, along with the fourth member of our team, Allie LaForce. And, of course, Scoot Henderson. He's a big ticket to follow. They'll go without him, though.
Yeah, that move was all about the long-term horizon for them. I know it's a little shocking how different this team looks, but given some time, I think things will come together.
Pass to Christie. 6 on the shot clock. Tipped. Here's Doncic. Here's Pierce. Out left to the wing. From downtown. McCain's shot is off. Here's Christie. Kemp with a rebound. And so it's Doncic with it. He brings it up for the Wizards. And just about a minute into this first quarter. And they pick up 2. Oh, we've got quite the matchup in store tonight, Doris. 2 conference rivals set to clash once again.
And BA, there's typically a little bit of chippiness because it is clear these 2 teams don't like each other, and you and I are here for all of it.
Here's Christie. And right now he's currently putting up 6.5 points per game. It's the J after faking out the D with a quick up fake.
He really hooked the defender with that pump fake. It worked to perfection.
Pass to Sarr. The 3 is up. Doncic left side. Fades and shoots. And it's Whitehead with a rebound.
I'm sure he's kicking himself. He hates to blow that kind of opportunity.
A great job to establish position and square up.
First personal foul.
Now Doncic doing some damage on the offensive end, putting up a little over 14 points a game. Here's Sarr. And the shot no good, a bit short.
Boy, just 1 for 4, a little brisky right now.
Tries it from 19. Whitehead, shot is good.
He's a potent mix of effort and ability. Hard to shut down a player of his caliber.
Doris, it's interesting, but the Nets franchise has never won an NBA championship.
That's absolutely correct because their titles came before the merger. Now, since they've joined this league, they did go to the finals for a couple of times. Had Jason Kidd, who was the driver of success, but no championship in this modern era.
Here's Kemp. His offense has been solid, scoring around 11.5 points a game. Pass to Reddish. Jacks up a 3. Kemp with a rebound. Here are the Wizards now with the ball. Just under 3.5 minutes elapsed here in the first quarter. As he went up to dunk. Good aggressive move. He'll shoot a pair.
Nice job to go at the rack and force the foul.
These are his first free throws of the game. So he gets them both. First quarter of play and just over 3.5 minutes in. Here's Christie. On the take. Here's Claxton. Misses from short range.
Got to credit the defense. They found a way to stop him, and that's never an easy task.
Brooklyn trailing. Here's Whitehead. Brooklyn, no good that time either.
And I'm surprised that didn't go down. I mean, I'm sure he is too.
It's deflected. And they get it back. McCain's shot is off.
This has not been a good period for this guy. Out of sync, not letting the game come to him. He's got to settle down and make shots.
He's consistent from out there, especially when you give him that kind of room.
Now here's Doncic. And again, Washington, no good. And Luka Doncic is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul.
First personal foul. First team foul.
Brooklyn with the ball.
On the court.
Here's Whitehead. 5 points in the game. He shoots. Iverson with a rebound. Pass to DeRozan. No luck on that one. Some solid defense from Claxton. And we've got a whistle. He was fouling with a purpose. And in that spot, in that situation, it's got to be a transition take foul. Doris, someone who plays within himself. Nick Claxton knows what his team wants from him.
There's real value in a player understanding his role, and that's Nick Claxton. Sprint the floor, rebound, rim protect. He knows who he is and what puts him on the floor.
Brooklyn shooting their second and third free throws tonight. He's off on the first.
At the line for the Nets. Siiigh. 2 shots.
And he's good on the second. Wizards trail by 3. They need something good to happen here.
Yeah, they've gone way too long without a score. I almost can't believe what I saw. Incredible.
I'm speechless, man. I'm speechless. Now here's Reddish. No points yet. Ooh, Ayton with the block.
Outstanding shot blocker. DeAndre Ayton off his feet in a hurry to send it back.
Pass to DeRozan. Here's Iverson. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
Yeah, put your head down and go to work. That's what they need to do.
Boy, the tide is running one way and then shifts back in the other direction. I've lost count of how many lead changes we've had here tonight.
There's a 4-second difference between the shot and game clock. Inside. Pass to Christie. Just 5 on the clock. Here's Whitehead. That one drops for him. Whitehead's got 8. These teams have really gone back and forth.
Yeah, 5 lead changes already. This one's going to be a battle for sure.
And he gets that one.
Good job attacking. Those restricted area shots are what every NBA team is looking for.
Well, a good close contest so far as we finish the first quarter. It's Washington. And we hope you're enjoying the game. Both teams tonight keeping things pretty even on the scoreboard so far. All right, guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Wizards?
Well, we've seen them take advantage of the lanes given to them so far. The defense isn't plugging it up, and it's being exploited.
And the other thing I love, how they're making the extra pass. They're not settling for the first shot. They're going from good to great.
And here's Doncic. Shot from the wing. Hurdle grabs a miss. Giddy with it. Now Doncic defending. Down low. Deflected. It's out of bounds. Last touch by Sarr. Washington on D. Trailing by 2. Here's Hendricks. Looking at the numbers, he's putting up 7 points a game. Down to 5 on the shot clock. There's Neesmith with the 3. It's rebounded by Washington. On the break. Here's Pierce. He got a piece of it. To the paint. Pass to Giddy. Back to Neesmith. Here's Hendricks. Still no points. It's tipped. And just about a minute and a half has passed here in the second quarter. Wow, 8 lead changes in the first half. Unbelievable.
Yeah, both sides digging in for what looks like a war. There's
the screen. Outside side, Neesmith. Pass to Hendricks. And there's the drive. And it's flushed down. A nice jam.
And once he gets to the rim, it's fairly automatic.
Nothing fancy right there. Just takes his 2 points, moves on. And we've got a timeout called by Charles Lee. He's going to talk it over with his guys. We're now about 2 minutes into the second quarter. Here's Iverson. Hovering around 19.5 points a game. His scoring has been huge for them. This one for three. Washington again can't hit.
He is just so deadly from out there. You expect that to fall.
Pulls up. Kemp with a rebound.
You'd like to see more effective ball movement there.
Well, there's no doubt there were better options on the floor, but it certainly seemed like he had his mind made up.
Back to the basics, unleashing the one-hand flush.
Boy, he makes the basics look pretty outstanding, though, huh?
That's true.
Driving to the basket, and he goes in for the dunk.
B.A., I'm not sure he should be flaunting around the rim like that with this game so close.
Oh, it's risky, but it sure did look good. Here's Giddey. Pass to Neesmith. Now here's Pirtle. It's covered by Ayton. Pirtle with the bucket. Pirtle's got 5 points in the quarter. Looking at lineups around the league, Graham, seems like they're becoming more positionless than ever before.
Yeah, you're spot on, B.A. To the point where some people feel all-star voting shouldn't be by position anymore. It should be by merit.
Pirtle with the bucket.
This guy is quickly developing into an outstanding playmaker, Josh Giddey. Nice setup.
Pierce gets his second attempt to go. Now he's 1 for 2.
And another great assist. The offense is really clicking now.
Here's Giddey. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play. Brooklyn shooting their 4th shot at the foul line here. That free throw good from Giddey.
Guys, we have seen a number of high-caliber players from Australia. Josh Giddey adding to the reputation of the country. This guy is long, he's versatile, and he's skilled.
I like that. I mean, some physical play inside. He's not about to give up any easy baskets.
Washington shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night. Good on the second one. Here's Giddey. You know, his impact on offense has been terrific, scoring just around 20 points a game. Banked it in off the glass. Giddey's got 5.
Boy, it looked like the defense was perfectly positioned, outstanding contest, and Josh Giddey says, I don't care, I'm scoring anyway.
The officials were right on top of that one.
Washington shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game. And he knocks down the first one. And he makes both free throws. 1:50 left to play in the half. To the wing, right side. And Hendricks gets it to go. Hendricks has got 5 points in the quarter.
And they're trending in the right direction after a rough first quarter from the field.
And he jams it home with authority.
Oh, save that for the dunk contest. That flush was so extra.
Whether or not this game is close, he's the same guy, focused on finishing firm at the rim. Here's Giddey. Got a hand on it. 1:09 left to the second quarter. Iverson can't hit. Neesmith with it. Picked up by DeRozan. And the 3 off target. The Wizards on offense. Here's Iverson. Pirtle grabs a miss. A chance at a 2-for-1 if they'd like.
And I really can't see why they wouldn't.
And the ball out of play. The Wizards will have it. Washington has possession. .32 seconds left to play in the first half of basketball. The rebound by the Nets. Here's Hendricks. He's got 5. To the left side wing. Outside Giddey. The 3. He drops it from range. Giddey's got 8 points here in the quarter.
Well, you expect him to want to pass it, so Josh Giddey understanding I've got to be a threat to score.
Woo, hard work creating the second chance opportunity.
And so a close game as we wrap up the first half of play. Brooklyn out in front, up by 1. And don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of quarter number 3. We've got second half action for you, and if the next couple of quarters are similar to the first, this one could go down to the last possession. Now here's Doncic. Pass to McCain. And there's the screen. Shot clock at 6. And he gets it to go off the front iron. McCain's got 7 points in the game. And it's amazing. Neither team has been able to hold the lead for any length of time.
Yeah, these guys are leaving it all on the floor tonight. Given his range, you'd expect him to capitalize on that opening.
Pulls it from the corner. The rebound by Neesmith. Brooklyn trailing. Here's Giddey with the drive. And he slams it in one-handed.
Tell you, if you give Josh Giddey a lane to the cup, look out. He knows how to finish.
Here's Doncic. And it's good. Off the back of the rim and in. Doncic has got his second basket.
Some defenses are designed to yield the mid-range shot. For him, that's a good look.
Doris, you talk about a guy who forces you to play at his pace. That's Luka Doncic.
Oh, my goodness, B.A., there's no question. He's got tremendous patience. He's in complete command of the tempo of the game. But maybe my favorite aspect is how he manipulates the game to get defenders off balance.
Lets the 3 fly. Sarr pulls it in.
This isn't how they wanted to start the second half. Only 1 of 4.
Kemp, good. Kemp's gotten his second bucket on the night.
Boy, excellent start to the second half. They've missed just once in 5 attempts.
Pass to Neesmith. Back to Giddey. Here's Hendricks. Pirtle in the post. And as it goes out of bounds, Brooklyn able to keep possession.
Possession to Brooklyn.
So it's Brooklyn now. It's a 5-point game. It's stolen by Doncic. Here's McCain. That one falls. Great setup by Doncic. McCain's got 9 points.
That's 3 buckets in a row off assist.
Pass to Hendricks. Back to Giddey. Here's Hendricks. Shot to stop the run. It's rebounded by Washington. And here come the Wizards again. Washington in transition. Up high and down it goes on the lob.
They're beginning to take control now, and this could be a crucial point in the game.
Well, working hard, building out a small lead, but you can't afford any kind of letdown here.
And let's swing it over to the sideline and hear from Allie.
Hey, Brian. Well, in today's high-scoring NBA, every position has to be a threat. All-star Donovan Mitchell said, "We're getting away from the point guards who are just floor generals. It's passing and scoring that you're starting to see, and your level of scoring allows you to be a better playmaker. Teams have to respect that."
No doubt, Allie. Thank you. Brooklyn Brooklyn shooting their 5th and 6th free throw attempts tonight. Doris, coaching is a difficult job. You think they're judged unfairly?
I do, PA. I think they go into any circumstance, and it's largely contingent on what is the strength of the organization. What's your ownership like? What is their commitment level to winning? What is your front office and the decision-making process like? But we all know this. Like, the coaches ultimately are the ones who are judged by wins and losses. They know that going in.
Oh, and he got fouled on his way up. He'll head to the line to shoot 2. Brooklyn shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts of the game. The first one falls. Both shots good from the strike. Second half here, and we're just over 3.5 minutes into it. Tries it from 19. Uses the glass that time. It's good. 9 points in the game.
And no surprise here, right? This guy is not only a gifted player, but he is so smart on the offensive end.
They set the pick. All alone. And the Nets miss again.
And they've just built this lead by attacking the boards.
Iverson. It's tipped. And they recover it. And he converts the layup.
I like what I saw on both ends that time. Hustling on defense to create some offense.
Pass to Iverson. There's the triple. That's good. And now he's 5 for 11 in this one.
Pick works well there, but the defense left a lot to be desired.
It takes incredible effort to stay connected to the hip of the offensive player. You've got to want to work.
Sinks the tray. Whitehead's got 11.
Man, this is just fun. These teams are trading threes back and forth.
Well, that three-point shot just gives you so much room to operate on the offensive end.
And he's going to the line for 2. The official saw contact while he was going up.
And even from where we're sitting, you could clearly tell it was a foul.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one. And that's good as he hits both shots. Here's Christie. He's got 5. From behind the arc. And Aiden pulls it down. Wizards leading by 8. Here's Iverson. Ooh, powered down with both hands.
And he gives up some size inside, but makes a great adjustment on the finish.
Well, he's attacking, he's forcing the issue, and that's simply stated a terrific play.
Adding insult to injury with the dunk off the steal.
Nice to see a good play on D. That led to some fireworks.
Let's see if that serves as a momentum builder. What a great sequence for this group.
Back to Claxton. Pass to Christie. 5 on the clock. The Nets need to get off a shot here. Sinks it from distance. Whitehead's got 6 points in the quarter.
Building confidence in that deep ball. 1 from distance in the first, 2 in the second.
To the right side. Here's Pierce. Offline with a 3. Left side Reddish. Here's Christie. And that's not going to go. And so it's Washington. They have a nice 9-point cushion at the end of the quarter. Defense. Fourth quarter action is upon us. Thanks as always for joining us. Nets trail by 9. Pass to Whitehead. Outside Reddish. From the arc. DeMar DeRozan grabs the miss.
Their strong work ethic has been evident on the glass, really getting after it and being physical.
Wizards foul. Allen Iverson. First personal foul. First team foul.
Washington on D. They held a 12-point lead earlier. Plenty of space. Rebound by the Wizards.
Boy, he'll usually knock it down if he's left that wide open. Just comes up empty.
Going inside.
And he just driving the stake in him there.
He's a guy just never lets up.
Well, you love that he wants to wear out the defense. What a catalyst for his team. Incredible.
Outside Reddish. Another shot. And Holmes pulls it down.
I think he's gone completely dry. Nothing is hitting.
And this is where you hope that he can find something easy so he can see the ball go through the net.
Nets trail by 11. And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the Wizards.
They're picking all the low-hanging fruit. Defenses these days want to concede the mid-range, and they're happy to take it.
And another theme in this game, to me, guys, has been how lethal they've been in transition. Attack on the break and make sure you convert.
Two-part equation. You have to be aggressive enough to get to the line, then talented enough to sink them.
Here's Iverson. It's down. His 7th make in 13 attempts today.
Yeah, their defense is starting to wear down. That's 3 straight buckets at the rim. And they're just one foul now away from the penalty.
Number 32. Second personal foul. Third team foul.
Here's Christie. Lets it go from 14.
Wizards foul. First personal foul. Fourth team foul. Substitution on the court.
Outside Reddish. Out to the right wing. Here's Whitehead. Rips it home off a terrific move.
Strong performance from him, but he may need to do even more if they're going to win this game.
They set the pick. And Doncic puts up a deep 3. Claxton with a rebound.
I know that he has the ability and confidence to sink that shot, but better luck next time, maybe.
And for most guys, I think you only want to take that shot if you've hit a few in a row. That is absolutely a heat check.
Soft interior D, and they've exploited it.
Pass to Kemp. Here's Doncic. Brooklyn pulls it in.
I'll tell you, even though he's not playing his best basketball, the team has played well and picked it up. I love it.
Here's Christie. Nails it from 3. And now it's just a 4-point Washington lead.
You love that this guy doesn't get down on himself after a rough first half. Keep your composure and keep grinding.
That one falls.
He came out of halftime with renewed focus, heating things up offensively. And now they've got to be careful at the defensive end. They're over the limit much earlier than they should be.
That one's off.
He's forcing the action now, finally getting to the charity stripe after no freebies in the first half.
And the second free throw is good. Washington leading by 5. Out to the right wing. Well, if you're just tuning in, welcome. We played about 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter here.
Well, he hasn't proven to be much of a floor spacer for them. He had the 1-3, but that was back in the first half.
Whitehead can't get it to go.
Simply put, a bad shot, guys. They all know they can get a better look than that.
Doncic outside. Pass to Kemp. To the inside. Here's Sarr. Claxton with a rebound. Nets trail by 5. Here's Reddish. Drills it from deep. Reddish has gotten himself on the board with a 3 there.
You have to love their intensity right now, getting hot at the perfect time.
It took a shift in strategy, but it seems like they figured it out. Let's see if they can extend this run all the way to the finish.
His playmaking is something to watch. Threading that pass right in there.
And Luka Doncic is going to pick up the foul. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the line for 2. Good on the first, and that narrows the the lead down to just 3. It's both from the stripe.
Hey, a steady hand at the line in a tough situation. He narrows it to a one-possession game.
And they go to the intentional foul.
I mean, I'm just not sure what he was thinking right there. I mean, he needs to get his head in the game.
Here's Doncic. Pass to Kemp. And he dunks it down.
Making sure of it with the two-hand slam, B.A.
Yeah, I don't blame him. With the score this tight, you cannot take a chance here. Here's Giddey. And he says right back at you with a big dunk of his own.
That is a big one, folks. Giddey gives them exactly what they need when they need it.
Here's McCain. Back to Doncic. 6 to shoot. Pass to Sarr. The Wizards need to get off a shot here. Oh, there's the shot clock violation. So they'll turn it over.
Boy, not on the same page there. And the possession ball game, that's a big mistake.
And Brooklyn with possession here. Trailing by 2. Here's Giddey. Here's McCain. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
And the stakes were high right there. What a bucket.
I'll tell you, that changes things, doesn't it? Good job, young fella. What a game.
The and one puts a little extra insurance on their lead. What a play.
Giddey with it. Pass to Pirtle. There's Nesmith with the 3. Count it! And he's brought them within 2 points now.
Coming down the stretch, they've leaned on the perimeter game.
Boy, the three-point arc has been a major factor in what they've done here tonight. You love the aggressiveness.
Here's Hendricks to take the lead. And he drills the triple.
You expect he's going to find a way to pull through in the clutch.
And we've got a timeout called by Charles Lee. Critical moment here. He's not taking any chances. Obviously not a lot of time to work with. What do you guys think we're going to see?
This is where your coaching is so important. They need a really good play now.
Well, this is a chance to take the lead, so you've got to draw up a play to make it happen.
So it's both teams making substitutions here. Count it!
Woo!
B.A., that's lit.
Ferocious all the way. Man, that was good. And it's Giddey off the drive. Good!
And his fantastic performance from the last game has carried over to tonight.
No, I think that's the one thing every player is searching for. Consistency. They're giving this guy a chance to carry the offense once again.
And it's Charles Lee calling timeout here. And a great call on his part. This is the time you want to be in sync right here. How do you think this is going to play out?
They've got one last chance to win it. It's got to be a catch and shoot off the inbounds play. They don't have time for a second pass.
And so it's Brooklyn who scrapes by with the win. And
Time in the drop top coupe in the motor in the trunk, you can hear it. Ain't all about how they want me to lose, but I'm W, due for a win. Fight for my dummy, I'm see how I'm coming, don't tip me, I'm right on the edge. Guinness is young and I been had to shoot out some money all under my bed. 2018 came a million, I made a career and they thought it'd be. I'm getting cold, my body cold, I barely get rest. One time told her pull up again. best dressed at the Met. Blue web in her dress, I know how to dress. Turn the drill to a flex. They stick up the check, I poke out my chest. I'm treating little boy like my pets. I know the young one of the catch. Got one-on-one ice on the jet. One-on-one pull up with tens. One-on-one never again. Don't get the cake in the butter, I count it like hustle the money all in. Rhyme in the town in the drop top coupe in the motor in the trunk you can hear. Ain't all about how they want me to lose, but I'm W, do for a win. One-on-one missing it up, one-on-one missing it in. One-on-one messing with kid. One-on-one and that's it. Come to the spot, I got one-on-one pieces and all of them cost me a grip. Come to the US, good service, I'm ready to tip. You know when I'm hip, I don't got a chip. You know I ain't no little bit of shrimp. We switching locations in the gym. She said she don't wanna say Gunna no more. She about to start calling me him. I'm him. I need you making it hot. The stakes is high, the prices is high. I'm about to fly to Dubai. I'm gone. Horse and boo, HB on the tie. Up with the one-on-one ride. Ain't cuffin' I let her slide. I come to get mine. Pop out on the beat like surprise. One-on-one pull up with tens. One-on-one never again. Don't get the cake in the butter, I count it like hustle the money all in. Rhyme in the town in the drop top coupe in the motor in the trunk you can hear. Ain't all about how they want me to lose, but I'm W, do for a win.
Wasn't always this way. I was a young man with a lot to say, but nowadays I feel best on my own. Don't wanna pick up the phone, I just wanna be left up. Please don't talk to me, I don't wanna talk to you. You're not the kind of person.
This is Brian Anderson with Grant Hill and Stan Van Gundy. And out on the sidelines is Allie LaForce. And so off the tip, it'll be the Heat. For three, Maxey. The rebound by the Wizards. Here's McCain. Can't get it to fall. Maxey on the wing. The shot no good. And Washington with possession. Talking about Tyrese Maxey, Grant, here's a guy who's improved every year.
Yeah, B.A. I mean, from averaging 8 as a rookie to 26 points during his breakout 4th year, Maxey has added to his game every offseason and turned himself into an elite scorer. Just taking it right to the rim, and no one was there to greet him.
Once he gets in deep on the defense, there is no way he's missing a layup like that.
Defensively, you have to stay connected to him on the perimeter.
Here's Sarr. That one falls. Great setup by Doncic.
Well, the defense can't lose track of him. He's just too talented offensively.
For three, Maxey. Offensive rebound. Anunoby for three. The kick out to Maxey. Pass to Wells. Left side, Johnson. 6 to shoot. Here's Sarr. Anunoby covering. Sarr misses.
A rare miss for him at point-blank range. That's one he'd like to have back.
Outside, Johnson. Sarr pulls it in. This one for three. Rebound by the Heat. First quarter, just about 2 minutes in. To the middle. Here's Wells. The kick out to Maxey. Outside, Johnson. Again, the Heat misses. And here's Doncic. He'll bring it up for the Washington Wizards. They trail by 3.
Well, give credit to the defense for cutting him off. Normally, that'd be easy points for him at the rim.
Now here's Anunoby. Deflected. And the ball out of play. The Wizards will have it. First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Allie LaForce.
Well, Eric Spoelstra had a few moments to share with me. We talked about how exhausting it is to go up against Luka Doncic. Coach told me, quote, Luka's probably the toughest cover in the league because no one has been able to figure out a way to stop him. We have to just bring the intensity and do our best to slow him down. It's going to take a team effort to get that done. Back to you, BA.
Thanks for that, Allie. Here's McCain to the paint. Here's Sarr.
Talk about taking advantage of the opportunity.
How about the anticipation right there that led to the steal? Then he goes straight to the bucket.
Turning. Great defense into great offense. That's the kind of stop you're looking for.
And it's Charles Lee calling timeout here. He wants a few moments to regroup with his players. Trail by 4. Well, Coach, how about the Eric Spoelstra story? Started as a video coordinator with the Heat back in '95. You were an assistant in Miami back then.
Yeah, look, Brian, even then, Eric is one of the rare guys that all of us on the staff knew right from the beginning that he had all the makings of a great coach. Players trusted him and had confidence in his ability to help them.
From the video room to the Hall of Fame one day.
No question.
Now here's Maxey. Yet to see a basket. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
Oh, a high motor in close to the rim. Maxey finding a window and converting.
And that one drops.
And they may have talked about shot selection coming into this.
4-3. Another miss by Maxey.
It's been that kind of quarter for him. The shot has just been unreliable.
Driving to the basket. No good. That would have tied it. The Heat with the lead. From deep, Johnson. It's hauled in by DeMar DeRozan. Lets it go from deep. Drops in the 3. He's got 7. Minute 32 left in the first quarter. For 3, Maxey. Ooh, Ayton with the block. Pass to Iverson. Three-pointer. And the Wizards with another 3. All right, guys, what do you think about the hustle stats for the Wizards?
Wow, those early blocks are key. They are intimidating their opponents and making them hesitant.
And also, I haven't seen a lot of resistance from the defense when it comes to limiting their points in transition.
2 points. That one goes.
Yeah, this period, they're letting him go to work, and it's paying off.
And he finishes. That makes him 4 out of 5.
Well, he's been hot out of the gates, 4 for 5, and he might just be getting started.
And he bangs it home with one hand.
Such an explosive athlete. Maxey saw his chance and took it right to the rim.
DeRozan outside. Over on Anunoby. 35 seconds left in the opening quarter. Pass to Ayton. Oh, and the jam by Ayton.
Well, this is what they want from Ayton. Play big.
Here's Johnson. Oh, and Johnson slams it in.
What he might lack in height at the 4 spot, he makes up for it with his burst.
And he's going to the line for 2. The official saw contact while he was going up.
Hey, you can't block it. Sending him to the line can be the next best thing.
And good on the second, so he makes them both.
Yeah, great effort tonight, and he's been rewarded with trips to the line.
And here's Thomas from the arc. Now the Wizards in transition.
When you get a chance to run the floor like that, you have to capitalize. Great hustle on that play.
Here's Johnson. Oh, and Johnson slams it in.
Throws it down emphatically.
He's got serious hops, right? You add that to his ability to penetrate, that's 2 easy points. Offense is coming free and easy as we wrap up the first. Wizards out in front, up 4, and back in a moment as we'll get underway with quarter number 2. And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through 1 quarter of action so far. All right, let's quickly break down the game and what we've seen so far from the Wizards, guys.
You know, they've been relentless in how they attack the paint.
Well, if they're going to be that ferocious inside, this defense is in for a long night.
Wizards leading by 4. Pass to Iverson. It's deflected. Left side Johnson. Excellent D there from Holmes. Here's Iverson. Second chance effort. And it's good on the layup. Iverson's got 5 points.
Have to take care of the defensive boards better than that.
Yeah, they need to pay attention to the details. Second chance points are backbreakers.
All right, let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Here's a great quote from Coach Eric Spoelstra, who said, "The Miami Heat culture is a system based on discipline and hard work. We stand for something. That's competition. That's winning. We feel that there's a championship DNA that you can develop." And Brian, they walk the walk.
One of the great organizations in the league, Allie. And it just seems like shelf life for head coaches gets shorter and shorter. Stan, even winning coaches aren't safe.
Yeah, even the teams in the top 2 or 3 of their conference are sometimes opting to make a change. In that kind of environment, it's a challenge to coach with any real authority.
There's a screen by Toppin. And it's Thomas off the drive.
Got to give him credit for jumping on the ball and making the most at the other end.
Boy, inexcusable at this point of the game. They got to be more composed in these moments.
Well, as a coach, turnovers will drive you nuts, but sometimes that happens when you're aggressive. So there's a balance.
And that's on the defense, giving him a decent look. That's his shot.
Got a piece of it. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Wizards will retain possession. And Washington making a change here.
Number 20, Jerry McKee.
And we're about 2 minutes into the second quarter here. Here's McCain. Here's Ayton. Oh, and the jam by Ayton.
Well, Ayton has always been a solid offensive rebounder, and he's got the numbers to back it up.
Washington foul. Iverson. First personal foul. First team foul. Substitution on the court.
Here's Maxey. And he takes that one up and powers it through.
Impressive one-hand slam right there, B.A.
Man, as long as he's confident about it, I'm good with it. Maybe use two hands next time. He knows where he is. And we've got a timeout called by Charles Lee. He wants to make sure everybody's on the same page. The Wizards with a lead. Doncic feeling it out a bit. Shoots over Anunoby. Sarr. Oh, and he got fouled on his way up. He'll head to the line to shoot two.
No debate there. He got hammered.
These are his first free throws of the game. Good on both.
Yeah, they're playing a much more physical game here in the second quarter.
Down low. Lays it up and banks it in. 9 points in the game.
You know, one thing about Maxey is that he always is looking for an outlet. I'll tell you, those finishes are always extra special when they come from your point guard.
Oh, forget about his passing. Can we see more dunking?
Wow, that is an impressive vertical for a point guard. My goodness. Yeah, he hasn't had the best night from the field, but his teammates have had his back.
Here's Kemp. Oh, he packs it down.
That is incredible.
Oh, save that for the dunk contest. That flush was so extra.
Whether or not this game is close, he's the same guy, focused on finishing firm at the rim. Rebounded by Johnson. Heat trailed by 3. Left side Maxey. And he goes in for the dunk.
You know, you have to love how strong Maxey takes it inside. Feels like he can beat everyone to the cup.
The putback. The shot that time not on target. And Washington with possession. It's off to Boston after this one, where they will face the Celtics. That game will conclude the 3-game road trip they're currently on. McCain's shot is off.
I mean, he's trying to shoot his way out of what's becoming a prolonged cold streak.
Yeah, I get it, but you don't want him forcing things. It's better to get your shots within the flow of the offense.
Offensive rebound. Kemp. Another miss. Boy, they had their chance there. Couldn't get it to go. Anunoby for 3. It's hauled in by Luka Doncic.
Yeah, and the defense has really got to tighten up on him. I mean, he's just too dangerous from the three-point line.
Wizards foul. Foul 2. First personal foul. Second team foul.
Oh, they get a hand on it. Outside Johnson. Oh, and he blocks it off the glass. Wow.
This has been a close game in a lot of ways, but they do have an edge on the board.
Well, the defenders stopping the developing fast break. That looks like a transition take foul. All right, guys, what's your take on the hustle stats for Miami?
Well, so far they've done a great job of reading the offense and repeatedly putting themselves in the right place to interrupt the play and force turnovers.
And not only that, you like how they're turning defense into offense, forcing turnovers and capitalizing. Man, the defender really went after him.
No good on the second free throw.
You really can't understate the energy Maxey brings to his game. Not just effort level, but his attitude and how that spreads to his guys out there.
Washington shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts of the game.
And give them credit for making a more concerted effort to get to the line this quarter.
He hits the second from the line. The Heat with the lead. Here's Maxey. And he'll draw the foul. He'll head to the line for 2.
And just a very well-built guard. You know, Maxey is so hard to slow down around the rim.
He's made one and missed one so far at the line.
And he didn't go to the line once in the first half. But now he's figuring out how to draw contact and getting himself to the line.
Inside. And he takes the fantastic lead pass up strong for the slam.
The This team trusts Maxey to make good decisions with the ball.
Oh, okay!
Oh, my gosh.
Whoa! Not known for showing off, Doncic with the highlight reel jam. Did I say that? Wow.
And it's the Heat with the ball. Back to Maxey. 34 seconds left in the first half. Sinks that one from the post. Maxey's got 16 points now.
Well, when you have a guy scoring like he is, you redraw every play to be about getting him the ball.
Pass to Sarr. Off with the layup. Up top, Johnson. And a missed layup.
And the shooter had very little space on that attempt.
There's no air space there whatsoever. That's as close as you can get without foul.
What a performance for Tyrese Maxey. He has been the story for Miami. He made a big impact, scoring 12 points in the quarter. We'll be right back with you shortly. And we've got second half action for you. Thus far, a pretty evenly contested game. Here's Iverson. Second chance shot. And it's finished off by Ayton as he lays it in. He has 6.
I mean, come on, a 7-footer with a 7'5" wingspan. Ayton beats everyone to the ball and converts easily.
Oh, and Johnson slams it in.
His hang time on the rim puts a sweet cherry on top, B.A.
It's a close game, and those displays of explosiveness can jumpstart a team.
Probably a play they drew up in the locker room at half.
Yeah, I like how they're establishing their interior presence right away. That's going to collapse the defense and create other opportunities.
Stan, you've coached so many rookies over the years. What are some key things you like to see from a player coming into the league?
Well, look, you've got to have the guy, Brian, that's ready to compete at that level and has to bring that every night. From there, it's just all about learning. There's going to be mistakes, but you want guys who can learn and improve at a consistent rate.
Is it true that defense is the fastest way into the coach's heart?
Well, it's certainly a way to gain confidence, that's for sure.
Sometimes the D likes to get physical with Maxey, but he has no back down in him.
And down it goes. 2 points. Iverson's got 7.
The defense couldn't collapse quickly enough.
Pass to Johnson. Here's Wells. Oh, nice finish from the low block. That one's good. Wells has got his first points of the night.
Yeah, very hot start out of halftime. Making their first 3 shots, getting the looks that they want, and knocking them down.
Man, he made sure to get his money's worth on that foul.
And this will be his second trip to the free throw line. First one falls for him. And Washington will go for a different look here. Both shots good from the stripe. Heat leading by 4. Here's Maxey. An easy 2 on the layup. Maxey's got 6 points in the quarter.
And force-feeding the ball inside. I mean, no reason to go away from what's working.
And it's Charles Lee calling timeout here. He's going to talk it over with his guys. Wizards trail by 6.
Number 20, Jared McKean.
Doncic outside. Ooh, had a nice open look right there.
And I love Doncic's shot selection. So smart at knowing when to shoot it.
The shot by Johnson, no good. Now Doncic, a reliable offensive contributor, putting up almost 14 a game. It's stolen. Here's Pierce. The quick look, no good that time. The Heat on offense. They lead by 4. And after this game wraps up, they're off to Indiana, where they'll face the Pacers. That'll be the first leg of just a 2-game trip for them. Here's Siiigh. It's tipped. And he's able to get it back. To the inside. Maxey surveys. Puts up a 3. Hits the trifecta. And now a 10-point Heat lead.
And they're shooting with much more confidence here in the second half. The field goal percentage is now over 50%.
Here's Pierce. And he gets the bucket. Pierce has got his second bucket of the night.
They need to run plays for him, get him more touches, whatever it takes to get him producing.
Time now to hear from our reporter, Allie LaForce.
You gotta love Tyrese Maxey's approach to the game. He said, quote, "I really have a simple life. I have this joy about playing basketball. I like putting in the work, so I'm extremely focused, extremely competitive, and I'm out here having the time of my life. I get to do what I love every single day, and it's a blessing," unquote. Brian, he's such a positive guy.
Yeah, he really is. Thanks for that, Allie. Pass to Kemp. To the middle. Here's Siiigh. Ooh, good finish at the rack off the slick feed. Siigh's got 8.
That's exactly what you work for, a high percentage look.
Maxey attacking. And he dunks it down.
You know, Maxey's willing to play a secondary role, but he can also take charge when needed.
And it's Charles Lee calling timeout here. He's going to gather the troops and talk it over. Wizards trail by 8. Pass to DeRozan. And here's Holmes. Ooh, almost had a 4-point play right there. But he'll go to the line with a chance for 3.
Hey, nice work attracting the foul from deep. He'll shoot 3.
And he's good on the second.
Fouled in the act of shooting a three-pointer.
And he nails the third. And, Coach, you've been lauded by some of your former players for your pregame preparation. I've seen it myself in the broadcasting world.
Well, I've also been cursed by some of those players for my pregame walkthroughs, Brian. People thought they were way too long, but I just wanted to be as prepared as possible and was one that always believed I'd rather do too much than too little.
To the paint. Here's Holmes. It's hauled in by the Heat. They've led by as much as 10. In transition. Oh, didn't think that was going in. Give him 8 points now.
They are unconscious from outside, and so far, the defense has had no answer.
Look, when the 3 is falling like this, there's not a whole lot you can do defensively.
We've seen that more than once today. An effortless basket inside.
Pass to Holmes. Here's Iverson. Oh, he goes up high for the two-handed slam.
Got to give him credit for jumping on the ball and making the most at the other end.
Boy, inexcusable at this point in the game. They got to be more composed in these moments.
Well, as a coach, turnovers will drive you nuts, but sometimes that happens when you're aggressive. So there's a balance.
4 on the clock. Here's Thomas. Driving inside. Ooh, and they immediately answer back with a dunk on the other end.
Hey, if you give him room, he's going to score the ball.
Count it. Good. Iverson's got 10 points here in the second half.
Great touch there. It's just so tough to defend a floater like that.
Yep, that one goes. And the Heat lead by 7.
And he was dominant in their last outing, and the same thing here tonight. He is in a terrific groove right now.
Yeah, for sure. He is just oozing confidence. Thinks every shot is going in. They should just keep...
And this is it. Glad to have you along for this fourth quarter. Miami leading by 7. Pass to Batase. Here's Toppin. And that one is hammered home.
Wow, that type of finish is just deflating right now for a team that's trying to make a comeback.
Ouch. That's certainly a big-time finish right there. It was one big exclamation point, or maybe even a question mark. Here's Ayton. And Ayton with the stuff.
Well, this speaks to Ayton's hustle, that he can run the floor on a fast break.
Poke loose. Pass to Batadze. Banked it in off the glass. Batadze's got his first basket.
Assisted buckets. Every team wants them. They show you're running effective team offense.
Count it.
Assisted by number 32.
Fourth quarter still young. Just over a minute played. Johnson on the wing. Oh, and Johnson slams it in.
He's a living highlight reel.
Seriously, that could end up being one of the best dunks of the year.
Oh, wait. Big finish. Big time. And man, did they need that.
You can tell he's trying to get him going with that dunk.
Yeah, he saw the opportunity to finish with some authority, trying to fire his guys up.
Oh, excellent way to pad the lead.
Yeah, especially when it's your one throwing it down like that.
It shows you're able to attack the rim from any position.
What? Wait. Hey, dunks are always for the big boys.
Emphatic move by the point guard.
Well, in this league, you can see powerful plays from anyone and anywhere. Your position no longer dictates your scoring options.
Here's Maxey on the take, and it's flushed down. Nice jam.
Maxey is such a crafty finisher. Let him get to the rim, and he'll make the most of it.
Here's Iverson. And he banks in the layup.
Yeah, after a slow start to the game, he's been productive and efficient here in the second half.
The kick out to Johnson. Back to Maxey. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And there it is for him. Maxey's got 4 points in the quarter.
That's 10 straight points they've given up in the painted area.
Oh, he gets it to go. 7 of 13 now.
Yeah, this is when they need to lean on him more. Get him the ball and let him build some momentum.
And he goes strong with the one-handed jam.
And adds a few more points to their lead, showing off some style.
Wow, that was prime time stuff right there.
What? Wait. Hey, dunks are always for the big boys.
Emphatic move by the point guard.
Well, in this league, you can see powerful plays from anyone and anywhere. Your position no longer dictates your scoring options.
Shot's good by Iverson.
They finally found their shooting touch after a rough first half.
For 3, Maxey. And Ayton pulls it down.
And lockdown defense against one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Ooh, that's a tough spot to be in as a defender. With that height disadvantage, it's very hard to protect the rim.
Here's Iverson. And a strong finish with 2 hands.
And despite the size mismatch, getting a little aggressive down there in the paint.
Yeah, he didn't let the defense affect him there. He just kept his focus.
And it's in there. Maxey's got 37.
Well, he's been a lot of their offense, and the numbers certainly show it.
And he drops in the layup off the glass.
Well, they have to be thrilled with how reliable he's been tonight.
Here's Johnson. Oh, rejected by Ayton.
Access there denied by DeAndre Ayton.
Pass to Wells. Back to Maxey.
of strength training coming into play for Maxey.
And a look at how the hustle game has been going for the Heat.
Well, look, you have to be able to count on energy and effort every night, and they're showing a lot of it with this transition buckets.
Another big factor for them has been their ability to get points off of turnovers. The easiest offense is created by good defense. I'll tell you, those finishes are always extra special when they come from your point guard.
Oh, forget about his passing. Can we see more dunking?
Wow, that is an impressive vertical for a point guard. My goodness.
Wizards trail by 8. Left in the fourth quarter here. Rebounded by Johnson. Another steal. Here's Kemp. Rebound Miami. Thomas outside. That's basket number 6 in 8 tries.
This has to feel good. They gave their fans a show and secured the W.
Yep, the crowd gets to go home feeling good about the win tonight. Their team looked impressive.
That's tipped. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Doncic.
Well, that's just a careless pass. He's lucky that was just deflected and not picked off.
Outside Maxey. Here's Thomas for 3. Knocks it down from distance.
Leaving nothing to chance. This run shutting the door on him.
Yeah, this run has poured a bucket of water on any ember of a potential comeback.
You can tell Doncic trusts his teammates. He'll get them looks and doesn't insist on doing everything himself.
McCain shot is off.
Wizards foul. Strong. Second personal foul.
First free throw is good. And that'll put him up by 9. And Johnson drops them both.
And that'll just about do it. Coming through at the line in a big spot.
From downtown. No good. Outside Maxey. Oh, they pick off the pass. So it's the Heat winning this one.
To the playoffs, you can fight with me, know it's a KO. And they hating, they know I'ma take off. I dropped the top on the 6th Street, fly in my ops, see the envy me. Passing whole universe. You know the base, what I'm rapping. Come home and sell out the Oracle. They scream my name when I step in. Courtside next to E40. Me and him kinda like Ricky and Morty. Two of the biggest, and you can afford me. Being this rich is a blessing. Play a thing, you getting swept. Not going 7. I'll be a warrior for life, but we still got love for Kevin. Yeah, work smarter, don't work harder. I took a break, need a recharge. Don't fly commercial, I need sharp. Need a Zendaya like Peter Parker. Yeah, this not, but I make it look easy. Told him let's run it, I keep it 100. This champion ring diamonds dancing like breezy. This not, but we make it look easy. Told him let's run it, I keep it 100. This champion ring diamonds dancing like breezy.
I dropped the top on the S6 Street. Flying in my ops, she didn't envy me. Passing it off like CP3. Shawty, she calling me MVP. I be on time, it's something you ain't never seen before. They call me the Dama, really want my whole team to score. Yeah, too icy. Yeah, too clean. Yeah, my zone. Yeah, 2-3. Yeah, got shooters that hit from deep. Bust like Giannis. Yeah, too mean.
So you think I ain't gonna speak from my heart, you know what I'm saying? I want 1,000. Yeah. I done turned a dancer to a trophy. I done bought rings like Kobe. Never sent a tweet with emotions, She heard she got emotion, Got my heart like I can feel her heart beating when I'm hugging her. Take me back to Kingston to see my ancestors. On your grave and some red leather. Turbo Panamera to seat bird feathers. Keep lie on me like Carmelo. Don't lie to me, I'm on God levels. Forever's not long enough. If it's endless, what we done? Either you a rebel or what we done? Stars, what we doing? A few remain nameless, deserve my dedication. I just want my movement like Larry Davis. Came from Amsterdam, had my head up. Screenshot, got me fed up. Playing with like a silty. She ain't tryna shop me, she thinking selfish. I just bought my yarn, new Rosellas. Went to Tokyo, I had to hit the like the kicker with her cause she played soccer. Enter to some goals, no, she want that Bentiaga and it's obvious. Real patience for them big faces and I got it. Still from the last night. The ones working. I just left. Your wife at the back. Leave me all alone, throwing a party. I'm gonna have commitment in this world of sin. Try my best to love you in this world we in. Take another look at every foreign I'm in. End up with the that I started with. I must been when I recorded this. Had in my hand while I was typing it. I know I'm arrogant, but don't be trifling. I iced out you once and you got iced again. These guitars sound like Parliament. I just blow the chick, baby, pardon me. All black trim, dark burgundy. Keep it real with me, no perjury. Put them bags on her arm like waysand. Sex Fifth Avenue, she ran through 80 bands. Got your passport ready with some aliens. Got my transport up, I'm on radiance. Got my transport up with Mercedes-Benz. I can't never give up on what we had. Abracadabra make my side better. I'ma stay down with you, but don't give me a headache. Lifestyle's radical, please excuse me. California housing, getting better with my visions. Audemars, Richard Mille came in a FedEx. Like a grudge that I ain't never again. While I'm looking at my present, presidential tense in the back, I done bid it. You better stay on your getting graded. Take you to a spot and same boss as you ready. Whip the double R with the stars in the head wrist. Caught up with these, baby, did I change the agent? Times got hard and I your lashes. Everything real, I got my golden ears added. But I will rock a paddock if you love us. Maybe it'll be. I know I lost your trust, but I made you. I got to tell you how I'm feeling. I took Shout it ride for a real one like a. I done turned a dancer to a trophy. I done bought rings like Kobe. Never sent a tweet with emotions, She heard she got emotion, Got my heart like I can feel her heart beating when I'm hugging her. Take me back to Kingston to see my ancestors. On your grave and some red leather. On your grave and some red